Hi everybody, and welcome to another edition of First Person, sponsored as always by the Precision Strip Company in Minster, Ohio. We talk about them, a great place to work. Whether you're starting, changing, or finishing the career, they're always looking for good people, and they may be looking for you. So check them out online, give them a call. Certainly let them know that you heard about them and the possibilities or the opportunities on PressProsMagazine.com. They've been sponsors of First Person now for 3 years. And we certainly appreciate their support. We're changing seasons, we're changing sports, and the guy to my right is very recognizable to a lot of baseball fans in this area, particularly in high school. Bill Sturwold spent 19 years as the head baseball coach at Fort Laramie, won a couple of state titles, 2007, 2010. I didn't have to even look that up. I was there.
Yeah.
I remember. Left that program in 2018, has been out of coaching for the last 4.5 years, and recently was named the head baseball coach in 2023. If you haven't heard of the Bradford Railroaders in the Western Ohio Athletic Conference. First of all, Bill, you and I have been friends in baseball for a long, long time. We've had a lot of good discussions, a lot of good arguments. I'm looking forward to another one here. I'll let you pick whether it's a discussion or an argument. But welcome back to coaching, and thanks for giving us the time.
Yeah, no problem. Appreciate you coming.
I just mentioned 19 years and the fact of the 2 titles and the reputation that you established here for having competitive teams, teaching the game, commitment to the game, bringing young kids up to play and enjoy the game like you and I did. And, you know, when you lost that position in 2018, that 4.5 years, I know there's a lot of people who wonder what that was like for you, because I can tell you, and anybody that's grown up in baseball, when it's taken away from you like that, it's a little painful.
Well, in reality, it turned out to be kind of a painful gift, because I got back, I started playing some adult baseball. I got my umpire license, I did some umpiring, and I spent more time with my dad. So, no, it was, and I wouldn't have been very good going through COVID. That would have ate me up. It wouldn't have been good. So, I was really glad I wasn't a part of the COVID year or year and a half. And what you're seeing now with the coaches that utilized and got some games in that year, it showed. Varsity and Laramie both went to state, and they got I think they got the most games in that summer, and it paid dividends for them.
Once you decided, I think, that you would like to coach again, I know there were positions, I know there were some opportunities, I know there were interviews, some that you didn't get, some interviews I think probably that you didn't get that you wish you'd had an opportunity for. Was there a point where you wondered, will this ever happen again?
I was okay with if it did or if it didn't. I accepted it. I was like, oh, I'll still be around the game, do some umpiring and stuff like that. But there's a lot. It takes a lot of time. But I'm going to be retiring from work here in another year and a half. So I'm going to have more time.
Your days free up a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's going to be nice, where I'm not going to be rushing and stuff like that. And Bradford's a little closer to Troy than Fort Laramie is, so I don't have that rush from 3 to get to the ballpark and stuff like that. So I'm really happy with it. I can't complain at all.
Bill Sturwold, the new head baseball coach at Bradford High School for the upcoming season 2023. Our guest on First Person this week, and I'm going to ask you about Bradford. We just talked before we turned the camera on a little bit about the prognosis there, what's your inventory like in terms of athletes. And I know you're very high on what the kids that you have. A couple of them that stand out to me are Parker Davidson, because I've seen him in basketball. Mm-hmm. But you've got some kids there that you believe that are instant goes.
Yeah, you got Tucker Miller, Landon Wills, and Landon Monin, and there's a couple of other kids, Skinner and Baker. And there's always a cannon in Bradford.
Always a cannon in Bradford.
And so I've pitched to them, and they all seem to have pretty good hand-eye, and they're all in pretty good shape. The foot speed's there, so we have some competitive at-bats, and throw some strikes and stay clean behind it.
You also have a thing called legacy over there because baseball, they've had good baseball there for a number of years, but they've had really good softball. You know, they're won the state title in softball there in 21. They were finalists last year, or at least Final Four in Akron again last year. So the balls and bats matter over there, and I know you've got some good support there within the administration and the community.
Yeah, well, I looked at their championship picture of their girls team, and I think I got 4 of their little brothers on my team. So
the name Miller rings.
Yeah, well, there's Miller, there's Cannon, there's a couple others I can't name, but there are, and it's kind of like when we won in 7 and 10 with Army baseball, the Hoyne, Jared, and Justin, and then their little sisters, the sibling thing, they followed it and they started winning girls basketball and volleyball. So it's contagious. Once you win that first one, the smaller communities, there's a different attitude and confidence level.
It's remarkable to me, Bill, in that 4.5 years, how close and committed you stayed to area baseball. Every place that I went, I always looked out in the stands, and here was Bill Sturwold sitting there someplace, sometimes taking notes, sometimes just arms crossed, just watching the game. I know it must have meant a lot for you to see Jeff Sanders win a title in 2018, for Mike Wiss, the success that he's had, certainly, especially Kevin Flippo last year when he took Russia there and beat a really good team to win that title last year for Russia.
Yeah, they're 3 outstanding programs. We're scrimmaging Russia and Minster and Shawnee Julienne, and Marion Local, those kids are used to winning, so that's a good scrimmage, and we play them in regular season. But the other 3 schools, they've won state championships, and Mike Wiss, at Minster, his kids probably run on and off the field harder than anybody. So my compliments to Coach Wiss over there. So I was glad to get a scrimmage with them. And when I first started coaching at Russia in '86, '87, I scheduled games against we played Lou Brunswick and Rick Gold and stuff like Dave King. And we took some beatings, but I wanted our kids to see how those teams and those coaches carried themselves, how they snapped it around the infield. And so, yeah, there's so many great coaches in the area. You play, Harley over at Coldwater, I'll miss him. He's one of the first guys congratulated me when I took this job. And John Dorner, the early years of my year at Army. Just learned a lot with some great coaches and programs.
Again, Bill Sturwold, our guest this week on First Person. Here's a question I want to ask, again, going back to your commitment to amateur baseball in this area. As you know, and we've had this discussion many times, one of the platforms that we've pushed most aggressively on Press Pros has been support of amateur baseball, community baseball, Acme baseball, high school baseball, anything for that, what I believe, and I think what you believe, I know Lou Brunswick believed that kids learn baseball better together, growing up together until they get to that age where if they want to make a hard decision about elite travel baseball and college baseball or something like that. Are we doing enough, given the fact that there are schools now that they have varsity, but they don't have enough kids for JV, certainly don't have enough for freshman baseball. Are we doing enough to make the game attractive to kids to play? And if we're not, what do we need to do differently?
I just think you got to have fun with them. You can't be overbearing. Sure, there's going to be times where if there's lack of effort, sure, you're going to get on them a little bit. But overall, it just makes these kids I'm coaching are 40 years younger than me. So it makes me feel young again just to be in that atmosphere. So it's just a game, and we're going to get after it and win. Winning's fun, so we're obviously going to get after it. But at the end of the day, you're just out there playing a kid's game. It's recess. Play ball.
It's something, though, that's missing in a lot of communities, and I'll give you a second to think about this, because when you ask a lot of kids, and I do, I know you play football, I know you play basketball, obviously you play baseball. If you had to discard the other 2 and keep one, there is such a preponderance of kids that said, if I could play one sport, I love to play baseball. I like to play the others, but baseball really, I'm happy when I can play baseball. Are we doing enough for that kid, those kind of kids, to show them, hey, look, there's opportunity here. You may be a late bloomer, and the light comes on your senior year, and you can make a real contribution to this program as well as the next program. Just because you graduate high school doesn't mean you can't play at the next level.
Yeah, I mean, well, you've with Stallman at Versailles. I mean, heck, he's playing pro ball
on TV
Horn.
now.
Yeah, right. As soon as this is over, we're gonna flip that back on. Stallman, Hoyne, and Lukey, and there's numerous others. If they had caught the right break and stuff like that, you just got to get hot at the right time and stuff like that. So, this area, you can make it out of this area, and you can get some money playing at school and stuff like that. And you just gotta have fun. That's what it's all about.
Bill, it's going to be more fun to have you back this year coaching Division IV baseball in Miami and Dark County and Allglaze and Mercer and around. And I'm glad you're back.
Yeah, it feels good. I'm ready
glad
to
you're
get back.
I appreciate your time. Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Best of luck to you. Always good to talk baseball with Bill Sturwold. That wraps up this week's edition of First Person, again sponsored by the Precision Strip Company in Minster. Check them out if you're thinking about changing careers or just settling down after working all these years, and you want to be something a little different, a little something closer to home. Precision Strip may want to know about you. Check them out. For our sponsors out there every week who support PressProsMagazine.com, we couldn't thank you enough. We do it for you. We certainly appreciate the kind words that we get, as well as all the letters and the comments and people coming up to us at games and saying, hey, we like what you do. Appreciate that. We'll see you again next time with another edition of First Person on PressProsMagazine.com.